Hey guys, how's it going? This is Rob from Justin's Toys. Just kidding. It's Chodaros, Bling. We got a new tutorial and it's lovely. This bracelet was created by Azmsmom on Instagram. It is quite a pretty neat design. You can also find her on Facebook as Deborah Durham, and I will have her links, or you can click on her link below. And this bracelet is called the Infinite Star Path because it has starburst divided by a ladder path with many possibilities. So this is the signature side here, and you flip it over to the back, which I think is pretty cool as well. So I'm going to be doing this bracelet for the tutorial as far as colors. It has the Persian black as the border and the Persian hot pink, I believe, or Persian pink, and the mother of pearl on the inside. So let's go ahead and get our supplies ready. Okay, so this is the setup for your loom on 4 pegs. So your first peg and your last peg are 1 pin lower than your 2 middle pegs. And the colors I'm going to use today for the border bands, I'm going to use the Persian black, and for the inside, Persian pink or hot pink, and the inside as well will be this mother of pearl out of the 6-upper pack. Okay, so your outside bands you'll need to double. So let's take 2 bands, and we want to put on this, well, first before that we want to put 1 band right here because we're going to close our bracelet up on this peg, I think. Let me see here. If I turn this around, yes. Okay, so then you take 2 of your bands that you want to use for your border and put them across the center 2 pegs. And then just a normal border. So we're going to go from here to here to start out. On both sides. And then normal border all the way up using 2 bands. Trying to make sure they are not crooked. Which isn't the easiest task when you're using the thicker bands, especially like these Persians are a little bit sticky. Okay. Alright, so we add our side band all the way up, and then we add 1 going, or 2, going to the center peg, like that. Okay. Alright, so we have our last 2 going up the side, and then our last perimeter going in diagonally. And then we want to take 2 more bands and we want to put them across the 2 center pegs. Like that. Alright, so now we're going to place the starburst pattern bands in the center. Alright, in the original design, it calls for a single band throughout the rest of the bracelet. I'm going to be using these Persian pink and the mother of pearl. So as you can see, it's like the mother of pearl is half the thickness of the Persian pink. So what I like to do, just me, on this bracelet, is I'd like to double the 600 pack band so I can get the same thickness. I did try it without, and it seemed like these were overpowering the 600 pack. So that's just my preference. But the original design does call for everything to be single bands from here on out. So we're just going to take 1 band and have it go forward on the 2 middle pegs. And then I'm going to change my colors, but you can do as you like with a different color combo or whatnot. But I'm going to place my second color on this peg here. Now again, I am just using 2 bands myself. This is just a personal thing. But the original design does call for just 1 band. Okay, and then we're going to place another band going out diagonally to the left, then the same on this side out to the right. Alright, so now this is the pattern that we're going to use the whole way up our loom. So in order to join these 2 sides, we're going to get a band and cap it, and we're going to place that cap band across these 2 pegs right here, like that. If you wanted to add bling, you would take and you would add your bling band going across here, and that would place your bling going up your bracelet in the center. Okay, and then Azmsmom has suggested to even put a cap band on both of these pegs in the center to make sure that you're securing your bling down. So that's if you wanted to add bling up the center of your bracelet. But for this tutorial, we're just going to do plain bands so everybody can enjoy it. So again, for this, we just want to add a cap band. Oops. And I'm just using 1 band, and I'm capping it to go across like that. And then we repeat the pattern. So 1 band going forward, excuse me, forward, and another band that's going down diagonally, and then our next band is going up diagonally, and then we add our cap band on the 2 center pegs. And then again, going forward, and then down to the left diagonally, down to the right, and then up to the left, up to the right, and then we add our cap band in the center, making sure your bands are always pushed down when you're layering it, like that. So it's pretty easy pattern. Okay, and then we're adding our middle cap band. And this bracelet has a ton of possibilities, I believe, for if you wanted to add beads. Because it has a border, definitely can add beads to the border. Or you could even grab a chain bracelet, like a real chain. You could even loom that up the middle. Cap band. I did do one with large spacers in the middle, which maybe if I'm gutsy enough I'll show you, but I used like, gosh, they were like 12mm spacers, and it just didn't work, so they would have to be like 6mm, I think, in order for it not to gap. But do go on and visit excuse me, Azmsmom, sorry, and see the she has a few good examples on her account on different variations. If you're using regular bands and not a silicone-based sticky band like I am, I'm sure you're already ahead of me. Always remember you can pause, rewind, forward. But I remember when I first started looming, I enjoyed actually doing the bracelet with the person doing the tutorial, so that's why sometimes you see I do it and I don't meet you back if it's a simple pattern. And that's why I always do mostly just one loom, so we can capture it all. I think my first tutorials were like almost an hour. Alright, we're going to be hitting our last pattern. Repeat, so add my cap band, and then we add our 2 bands going forward, and then our band going out, down to the right, then out, down, or left and then right, and then our 2 bands going diagonally up, and then our cap band across, and then our last 2 bands going straight forward to the last 2 center pegs. Alright, so this is what you should have. Pretty neat. So we can go ahead and turn our loom around and get ready to loom. Okay, so make sure, like I said, all that your bands are pushed down, and we want to add a triple cap band to these 2 right here, which we're going to use our border color. So I'll use my hook, so that's 1, 2, 3, and place it on 1 peg. Alrighty, now we are ready to loom up our bracelet. So we're going to go inside that cap band and grab the first band on top, which is the band that's going forward. Pull it back to itself. And the same thing on this side, like that. So this entire bracelet, every band is loomed back to itself. There's no different type of looming. So, but we are going to loom out the whole center and then come back and do the perimeter. So this next one here, we have our cap band going across. So please make sure that you put your hook in, go under that cap band, and then grab the first band on top. Which is the band that's going to the down diagonally to the left, like that. And then once you get that band done, it keeps that cap band back a little bit, so it's easier to see what's inside. Oops, I forgot that I used a double band for that one. Now what did I do? Goodness gracious. It's having a weird looming night. Alright, and then your last band on this side goes straight forward. So we started with the band going forward here, and then looming out, out, up. Okay, so we go back into the right side. So you want to make sure you push back that cap band, then go down under, grab the first band on top, which is the one that goes diagonally down to the right. The next band in line is diagonally up to the right, and then the last band on the peg is the last band on the peg is going straight forward. Okay. So that's what you should have like that. So that it is the exact same all the way up your loom. So that's basic looming. So I'm not going to go slow. Just going to loom it up. Oops, I'm left-handed. It's easier to go this way. To me, it's kind of, you know, a little bit tricky getting inside that cap band to get that one band. That's the reason I mentioned it. I think the first time I did this bracelet, I missed that one, and my bands weren't on that cap band, so. Alright guys, a couple more to go. Okay, last one. Yay! Alright, we are done looming the center bands. So this is what your loom should look like. Now you can see why you'd want to add bling. You could add it in the middle. You got a nice space there. So the last step is just to loom up the perimeter. So the way that Azmsmom designed is that we're going to start into this center right peg, go underneath the cap band, and grab that double band on the top, and this band goes over to the right center peg, like that. And then we loom up the left side of the perimeter, and just make sure that you are grabbing both, because our perimeter is doubled. So you want to make sure that, oops, I'm sorry. You want to make sure that you're grabbing both of these bands down here. And that especially all of your bands are pushed down on these outer pegs. So you can get 2 more bands on them, so they're pretty full. Pretty much every band that we put on is on these outer pegs. Alright, Christy, let's go. Good night. Jeez. I have not done one of these bracelets with these types of bands in a pretty long time. I always chicken out and use the LEs because they don't twist on the tutorials. That one's just a tad twisted. So you do want to make sure you use good strong bands on these on the perimeter, because you are stretching and they're tight and they're doubled. Alright, so once you get to this center left, you can stop and come back down, and then we will start with the right side. So we just go into this center right peg, grab the bottom 2, and start it out that way. There is a lot of bands. But Geez, that's a workout. But it sure is nice to see, or to do I've always enjoyed doing loom bracelets. I like the hook onlys, and I like the monster tail, finger loom and that, but traditionally, looming off of the loom itself like this has always been my favorite. Alright, so we have one more band to loop, and that one is going to be going inside this peg, grabbing the bottom two, and putting it onto this left center peg. And there we have it. I am not pulling this off of my loom, so I'm just going to come back down here, grab these two, and then I want to go and take all of my outside bands off, because there are a ton of bands looped on there, and I used silicone bands, so I just want to be sure that I do not break a band. Alrighty, so we put a single band up here on this center left, so we're just going to hold it with our one hand, stick our hook in and grab it. Ooh, oh no, don't you dare slide up there. Okay, I'm going to put that on my hook, and then I'm going to carefully pull off the loom. Wow, we did it! Yay! Super pretty. Super pretty bracelet. Love it. So, I have done this bracelet a billion times with Azmsmom. Trying to find different either color combos or types of bands or bead placement, and I have done it with just a single band on the border, just because I was, you know, trying to figure out different other things. So, but I am definite that because she placed the double border, it helps hide these middle bands, so that's a plus. And it's a thick bracelet, so it's kind of like it's circled, and then you can see that band that we placed the vertical bands. They kind of slip out in between, and then you can see our cap band. Awesome. So then we turn it around, and this is all the vertical bands that we placed. So it does have a different look, which I like this side as well. But I definitely love this side. I think it's gorgeous. So this is just one loom, as each, pretty much all bracelets that we do, it takes 2 looms if you want a full wrap, or just simply add your single chain. I think I'm actually going to extend this bracelet. It is gorgeous, and I'd like to have it as a full wrap. So I'm just going to put this extension on for the tutorial, and then kind of take the end up part and Alright, so we're going to take that band and then add our C-clip. Whoops. Oh my gosh. Okay, and then you have a cap band right there on this side. I'm going to stick my hook in. Actually, no. I'm going to place it on this peg. Oops, turn it around. Rob used to do this from Justin's Toys. It's smart. I'm placing it on that peg. So then you have it, that hole, and then you can just slide it down like that. There we go, our finished bracelet. Fabulous. So I hope you enjoyed making this bracelet as much as I did, and click the like button or the thumbs up if you enjoyed this tutorial, as well as subscribing if you'd like to see future tutorials. So thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.